Many people ask me about comprehension. How can we understand more of what people are saying to us? Well, part of the problem is that people speak very fast. Just like us, native speakers, whatever native language we speak, we will be speaking it really fast. If you don't believe me, just open the news in any country, they speak really, really fast. The second part of comprehension is vocabulary. Those things come with time. Because it's impossible to learn a language in its entirety within just a year or two, there are exceptions, but very few people can actually grasp the entire vocabulary or the majority of a vocabulary within a year or two and retain it. Then vocabulary is something that grows with time. One of the keys, one of the tricks or the shortcuts, or whichever way you want to call it, a very good shortcut for amplifying our comprehension is knowing the basics of conversation, and for that reason I've created the 5 elements wheel. That wheel is how we compose this course. We're gonna focus on part of the wheel every week, and once you get the principle, you'll be able to add on words to your parts of the wheel, even outside of the course. The goal here is to give you tools so you can go and build your skills and amplify your level on your own. You don't have to be tied up to my apron 24/7. You don't have to keep buying courses and books for the rest of your life. At some point, we all want to spread our wings and fly out of the nest. For that reason, the wheel of the 5 components are the 5 components in every language. Everything we say in any language would most likely be composed of minimum 3 components up to 5. An action, a description word, a time, past, present, or future. Who is doing the action? I, we, he, she, it, they, us, etc. And connective words. Connective words are things like but, if, the, however, after, before. Those are connective words, and we can't really build an effective sentence without them. So the good news is that connective words, there aren't very many of them. We can compose a list. The list for the, but, if, however, when, after, before. All those very useful things that we use a lot, this is not a long list. So that list would definitely be posted in the Facebook group, and you can write it down to yourself. You can download the image and save it on your phone. You can practice it at your own time. The more you speak it, the better you become, the more you will remember it. It's called retaining information. It's not hard to learn a bunch of words. The hardest part is our brains store them, and if we haven't used them within 7 to 13 days, the brain pushes it back. It's on the back burner, it's not on the front. And if you haven't used it within 14 days or more, your brain might recycle that brain cell. It's like rewriting on the disk. If you've ever had a USB stick, you see some file you don't use anymore, you can delete it and write a new one instead of it. That's what our brains do. You learned something 5 years ago. If you haven't used it, probably you won't remember it. You might remember it vaguely, but when you need to open your mouth and speak it in conversation, you won't remember it. Your brain, the path is too long, the brain can't reconstruct the path. What we do during the courses, and this is a free 4-week course, I do actually also have paid courses for 2 and 3 month long courses. What we do during the scope of a complete course is we train our brains to build shorter paths. So if you stored something, you learned something last week or 2 weeks ago, we're gonna show you how to access that information. Your brain doesn't have to go back very far. It's gonna go back in a short path, which is something you can pull up. It's normal to forget things. And that the level to which we forget things is very individual too. It has to do with age, if you take a medication, concentration levels, ADHD, etc., whatever. But the point is, everything is done. Our brains, the memory part of our brain has pretty much been mapped. There's a lot of science behind it and a lot of useful methods of how to work with it. Not against it, but with it. Anyway, that's a different subject. So during this 4-week free course, we will amplify our understanding of each component, useful examples, practical words on everything, and I'll also give you the keys and the tools to keep working on it by yourself. I'll show you the roadmap. This is the wheel. It's not hard to find words in Google. There's a million lists for actions. Everybody's done verb conjugation at some point in their life. We all know that verb conjugation is not the only thing in conversation. And plus, we don't really remember all of it when we need it. So you can definitely keep practicing on your own. You can continue to a full course. You can buy a different course. Doesn't matter, not even with me. It's fine. The goal of this course is to share some of my knowledge and experience with you that I've achieved during years of working with my students. I've been doing it for about 6 years now. And I wanna get feedback from you. I want you to share me, because I'm pretty sure you can teach me something. Every day I learn something new from my students. You can definitely give me a comment that helped me open my eyes, make a light bulb moment, and I will be able to help more people. More people would benefit. So the slide that comes right after this video, look at it. You can comment below the slide if it makes sense. I believe it does. So those are the 5 components of the language, and we can move on that wheel. And we're also going to amplify individual questions. Whoever shows up to the live feed and asks a question live, those answers will be posted. And you can also ask questions in the group. The goal is to help everyone, and everyone would benefit from the interactions. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.